So, hello and welcome to another one of FMChats. We're here with Megan, a third-year student of fashion media, recently graduated. So, where are you now, Megan, in terms of lockdown? And introduce yourself.
So, I'm Megan. Hi. I'm currently at home with lockdown, feeling a bit not much to do. Well, I've still got a lot to do, but it's very weird to have now finished. It's quite empty, like you don't quite know what to do with yourself.
Yeah.
Keep going. So yeah, I'm currently at home.
And do you want to just give a brief roundup of what your FMP is and like what it includes?
Yeah, sure. So my FMP, the inspiration behind it is all about trying to educate younger individuals, those who maybe are at school or college and don't quite know what to do with themselves, because so my FMP is mostly a magazine, so it's printed publication, and I also have a YouTube website, and I mocked up an app. So yeah, it's all about sort of inspiring younger generations, because I feel like school pushes STEM, so that's the science, technology, maths and English, as opposed to the creative subjects. So I felt when I was at school, I had no clue about the creative subjects. I kind of thought, oh, it was textiles or that was it, especially for the fashion industry.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I thought I was stuck. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be working at Waitrose my whole life. Like, I've got nothing to do. Like, I just didn't know. And I wish I had like known everything I know now and the actual job opportunities that are out there today, but I just didn't know any of that. So my publication is aimed for younger students who don't quite know what to do with themselves. They don't know what's out there. It's just to inform and help them and just really show. So my printed publications, for my final major project, I did a fashion issue. So it was all about the fashion industry. It was showcasing the different jobs within the fashion industry. And then as part of my YouTube channel, I did interviews like this with just different people, trying to educate and just chat and like really get down into the industry and just try and show as much realness as possible to give people sort of like the best insight. And then yeah, my website kind of went along that, and it was all like articles and features that like really would help people.
Yeah, that sounds really good. And then in terms of future creatives, like, and your inspiration, you've obviously touched on you didn't have anything like that when you were at school. Like, how did your concept evolve from start to finish?
So what, for my brand?
Yeah,
so originally, because we also did publications in second year, so I was, oh brilliant, like you get to do what you want basically, like you can cater it a lot more to what you want to do. And my attempt was, I want to do like a publication all about sort of future technology and like the future of fashion and all this and all that. And then I did it, realised I didn't really know what I was on about. I just wanted like a nice, cool looking publication. And then I was like, the two things I loved about that one publication was I had interviewed a couple of sort of like 3D fashion illustrators and artists, and I was like, wow, that works amazing, it looks amazing. I wish I saw this sort of a couple years ago, and that was it. I realised that I loved interviewing people with cool work basically. Everyone has probably seen before, and that was kind of the start of it. I was like, I'd love to do a publication all around this, and that's how Future Creators came about.
Just a different side of the like fashion industry that people don't know as much.
Yeah, definitely. There's so many jobs out there that you just would never have thought. Like I said, I thought it was all textiles. I thought if I wanted to go into the fashion industry, I'd have to design, and
you got to be a fashion designer.
I
feel like, I was like, well, that's not happening. So
I feel like when you have that dream of being in the fashion industry when you are like little, it's kind of like, I want to be a fashion designer. You don't know there's so many other avenues in it. Like that. And then also you got nominated for the Graduate Fashion Week Innovation Award as well, so congratulations on that.
Very much.
And then in terms of that, how does that work?
So what, the awards and Rachel obviously pushed us all to apply for them. So I think there were like, I think there were 5-6 different briefs for the fashion one for like our course, so there are lots of different ones. So I put my publication forward for the Future Innovation one, and amazingly got shortlisted. So what happens next they just kind of we have to go up to London and they do a whole like pitch in front of industry professionals and stuff. So that would be the next thing that I'm working towards, but it would be such an amazing experience. It already has been putting your work forward and like creating those briefs and putting them together. Like it's never something you thought you'd have to do. So it's an amazing experience all around, no matter sort of what happens in the end. So
so coronavirus is obviously such a big thing at the moment. Everyone's kind of suffering from it, or what, like people have been affected by it. How has it affected your like third year experience? Has it adapted your FMP at all? Have you not been able to do certain things?
It was really, really difficult at first. So I occasionally still get the odd like little bit of sadness, because obviously we're missing out on graduation, we missed out on our end of year show. I think they were the two massive things that I was like, oh my gosh, that wasn't even about the work aspect as much. It was like about sort of missing those big milestones. Obviously we still get a graduation, which we're very grateful for, because a lot of universities, they're just not doing it at all. So very grateful for that aspect. But it can get difficult. Like it can take a toll to know that you've put all that work in, and like the one big thing that you can kind of show off to people is like, oh, it's not really happening anymore. So in that aspect, it is hard, but it's something at the end of the day the uni will make up for. We still get a graduation, we'll just have to wait a bit. In terms of my FMP, I was very lucky, because the only things I had to travel for was my documentary series, so my YouTube series. So I was able to do that, obviously like these over Zoom, sort of record and edit. So I was very lucky compared to some other people who had much bigger things for their final major project planned, because mine was mainly the printed product. So I was like in the lucky. But it is really difficult, because I think one of the things I found the hardest about completing an FMP at home, I don't know if you guys have it with your class, is just not having people right next to you to sort of like bounce ideas off of.
Definitely.
That's true.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't just talk out loud and expect someone to sort of chip and be like, oh my gosh, why don't you do this? Like obviously we're all still in contact with each other, and we're all like a massive help to each other, which was lovely. But it was really difficult to not have those other creative minds just to bounce off of, and like all share ideas and all like help each other. So in that sense it was quite difficult as well. But I'm one of the lucky ones. I managed to adapt quite well. And I think that will come across well, or will now have the skill to do that in job interviews. They can now be like, oh, so how adaptable are you? And it's like, well, actually I can now tell them and sort of show
you've had to adapt a lot.
Exactly. So I think that you got to take away the positives, so that's what I'll take out of it, and I can be like,
of course.
And then obviously throughout the course we've been able to learn so many different things. We've had so many modules that we didn't even expect we'd have. But how did your first and second year lead up to your final major project? What were your favourite modules that really told you that you wanted to do what you did?
I think from the get-go in the first year I was like, wow, because obviously I said like I didn't know this opportunity was out there. I just kind of stumbled across the course and stumbled across Rachel and chats to you and convinces you. But my favourite from the get-go was when we were doing carbon basically and doing the magazines. I think that's what set me. So throughout my whole 3 years, magazines, it's just discovered what I wanted to do, which is amazing, because I didn't even have a clue, like no clue, like I said before, didn't even know it was possible. I was like, oh, I don't know. I didn't tell the truth, I didn't enjoy it at first. I hated it. I was just like, oh, this is such a chore. And then we got into it, and then we got into the design, and that's when I was like,
is that the bit you like then, the design rather than the journalism?
I don't mind doing the journalism as much, but if I could just design this magazine all day every day,
that's really good then, that you found that passion for it. And
I'm very glad that I did. And even in first year I was like, oh, I'm not quite sure if this is what I want to do. And then second year we had that creative freedom for our media project, when we could choose our own magazine, and I was like, this is it, this is what I enjoy doing. So
that's good then.
So what was your experience like living in Southampton? Did you like the city, and did you enjoy studying at Solent?
Overall, I really liked it. I think there are much worse cities to go. I think you're quite lucky in Southampton. There are some nice areas as well. Everything's quite close, everything's nice. Halls were lovely. I was in Deanery. I don't know if people looking to be in there will be looking at halls, but halls I love, like everything's clean, everything was tidy. And then, yeah, looking for houses, it's so easy to find houses as well because it's such a studenty area, which is nice. So because it is a lot of students around, you do feel a lot more comfortable there than you might in other places.
Yeah.
And Solent, yeah, they're absolutely great for studying. I have just no issues with it at all. I loved it. So the whole experience was amazing.
And did you feel like you could contact your lecturers and tutors all the time?
Oh yeah.
And like whenever you needed them, especially like during this time, obviously not being at uni, you've had to like do Zoom calls, I'm guessing, for like classes, virtual classes.
Yeah, no, all the tutors have been absolutely amazing. Like we could just, any problems, they would help us. You could contact them sort of night or day, and they're just amazing. Like the one thing I am grateful for are all of our tutors, because they were just there for you 100%. I had no worries about studying at home. I had no worries about, I'm getting left, because they just wouldn't let that happen. So they were all amazing.
And then also with making friends, did you make those friends in your halls, or did you make them through like socials? Like how did that happen?
Yeah, I'd say halls was my main sort of, halls in my course, and then like through course mates, friends, and going through that kind of thing, because I'm quite a socially anxious person, so it was difficult for me. But like I said, everyone's friendly. I managed to make friends like during halls, and then the course mates, and then you kind of get to know their friends, and it's great.
Everyone's in the same boat anyway, because no one really knows anyone when they go to uni.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing you've got to remember. It's not just you, it's absolutely everyone. So.
Yeah. And then about giving someone advice who's starting the course, what would you say to them?
I'd say just dive in head first, just absolutely go for it. There are going to be some things you may not get along with, but if you just put all your heart and all your effort into everything, then it will come easily. Like you won't struggle the next year or the next semester. If you just throw your head first into it, it will be an amazing experience, and you will get so much out of it that way if you just do everything basically.
And what would you say to someone like me and Ciara, who are just going into our third year and about to start our FMP? What would you say to people like us? Some advice?
It sounds so cliche, but just stay on top of things. Like just really be with it on just doing a little bit each day, because obviously when this all happened, we got into a rut, and it's difficult to pick that back up. If you kind of like obviously have a break, that's great, but honestly just stay on top of things and make lists and timelines, and it'll be a piece.
Did you feel you struggled with motivation while in lockdown?
Yeah, a lot. Because at first it kind of felt like a little bit of a holiday, and it was like, but this is not, I'm back home, it's all right, I'll take a couple of days to adjust, and then you don't have other creative people working around you, so that was like no one's working, everyone's still in bed, and I've got to get up and like, it was difficult, but it is worth it. So if you just stay on top of it, and really motivation's big, but I just kind of made little lists each day and ticked things off, and it feels like you're being productive. It helps a lot. So.
And then obviously you've mentioned that you absolutely love the designing of the magazines. So in terms of where do you want to go in the industry, like what's your dream job?
Honestly, it would be just designing magazines. Ideally, one day I would love to get my brand up and running properly and out to schools and colleges. So I think that would be my end goal, is to basically run it and have it up and running. But any magazine design, I'm quite happy going to journalism as well, but magazine.
Have you been applying since you've left?
Yeah, definitely. It's difficult because not a lot of places are sort of openly looking for people, but just apply for anything. If people are looking for advice, just absolutely apply, because one thing will come along. Yeah. It's just experience.
Did you feel that you had to have that passion for your final major project in order to do it? Like, if you didn't enjoy it, then would it have been even more hard to do it?
Yes, definitely. Just choose something that you're really passionate about and you just want to get it out to the world, because it can become a chore otherwise if you're doing something that you're not enjoying. So
yeah.
Did you struggle to come up with an idea to do for your final major projects? I know there's people like me now, I have no idea what I'm going to do and I feel like I need to know.
Yeah, I found it, the one thing I found difficult throughout the 3 years was ideas and actually starting the project. Once I started it, I was fine, but it is difficult. I wouldn't fret, because even though I did Future Creatives last semester, I wasn't too sure if I wanted to carry it on, and then you speak to Rachel and everything's fine and she really helps you sort of do the ideas. I don't think I had my set idea until just before Christmas, so I wouldn't stress about it. I wouldn't overly worry too much. Just jot down any idea you ever have, but don't stress, because Rachel's there, she's amazing, and everyone will bounce ideas and help. So it is difficult, but don't stress, it will be alright.
And have you got the like publication in print yet, or is it still waiting to come?
No, I sent it off a couple of days ago, so I'm still waiting, but it will be lovely when it's
it'd be so nice to hold it, that you've actually got all your like a year's work almost. So
yeah, I love that so much, just having it at the end, it's so nice.
Because you actually come out with something that you can show. I think what's good about our course is, where I know some other courses come up with a dissertation and that's amazing, that's so much work gone into that, we can actually go, here it is, and you can show, and it's like,
yeah, we can physically take these things to interviews and be like, well, that's all my work, have a look at it.
And I'm not like an essay based person anyway, so dissertation, like, it just doesn't show my creativity or anything, so
you can't see anything through them.
But fab, thank you very much, Megan.
Thank you for joining us.
So helpful, definitely for people watching, wanting to go to Solent, or for us doing FMPs. So if you just want to like say your socials so people know where to find you.
Yeah, so my personal portfolio on Instagram is at Megan Walker Creative, and then if anyone wants to check out Future Creatives, it's at Future Creatives Mag on Instagram.
That's brilliant. So thank you everyone for coming to this FM Chats with us, and thank you Megan for joining us, and we shall see you on the next one. So bye.
Bye.